Let's look at some news reports. All right, news reports on illegal immigration. That's what this is. Illegal immigration. All right, illegally crossing. Not the ones that seeking asylum and do it the legal way. We're talking about the illegal ones, right? So let's go ahead and see what's going on at the border from a. Let's go to ABC for this is ABC. ABC is what the news reports are saying. Let's see what they say or what's going on, and then we can kind of begin to look at the numbers after this. Here we go. Dive into this.
The U.S.-Mexico border, where the Biden administration is expecting to soon see as many as 10,000 migrants per day crossing the border. Pandemic-era rules set to expire this week. ABC's Maria Villarreal joins us.
About 10,000 a day. Not 1,000, 10,000 a day. So what's 10,000 times 30, guys? $300,000, 300,000 people a month. Hello. That's 3.6 million people a year, right? So there's a spike up. So let's keep going. So let's go into it.
Joins us from El Paso, Texas, as conditions there are worsening. Maria, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Janae. We are just days away from Title 42 coming to an end, but already we are seeing large groups stage in Mexico, getting ready to come across. Thousands are actually crossing every day already, trying to request asylum here in the U.S. Wow. In El Paso, they are seeing between 1,500 and 2,000 people that are processed and released every day. Shelters are full, and city leaders are working around the clock to prepare for the anticipated surge.
Watch this.
This morning, pressure mounting along the U.S.-Mexico border as the end of Title 42 creeps closer. In Juarez, Mexico, just across the river from El Paso, a growing number of tents line the riverbank.
Look at this.
In Brownsville, Texas, clothes and trash left near the Rio Grande River by groups that were apprehended by Border Patrol. On Thursday, Title 42, the pandemic-era policy that allows agents to quickly expel migrants because of COVID concerns, will sunset. Officials predicting up to 10,000 migrants crossing the border each day, far beyond the 3,500 per day authorities can comfortably handle.
Let's go back to look at this.
Far beyond the 3,500 per day authority.
So look at this. Look at this. Officials are saying up to 10,000 migrants crossing a day after it expires, but they can only handle 3,500 per day. Let me say that again for the folk in the back row. All right, they are expecting 10,000 crossings per day, but the current boots on the ground can only handle 3,500. Okay? That's called a problem. Let's keep going.
Authorities can comfortably handle.
If it does spike next week, we're going to be ready to handle that.
Across the river in Matamoros, desperation at a tipping point. There's no electricity or running water here. Lucia Gomez and her 2-year-old daughter Jessica have been living in that Matamoros camp for 5 months, unable to get an appointment to request asylum. Her patience is dwindling as the dangers of living here get worse. On the ground with Border Patrol in Texas, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas tells us they are surging resources to the border.
We are maximizing the resources we have to deliver the most efficient result.
We are going to vet what he just said right on this live. We're going to vet all that here in a second. Here we go.
We are doing so within a system, an immigration system that is fundamentally broken.
Beyond the border, there is a big concern about the ripple effect this could have on the rest of the country. Most of the migrants that are picked up and then processed are released, and they don't want to stay in these border communities. They end up in places like, Florida, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and New York. And now those areas are saying that their resources are strained. They're asking Congress to get more involved on a long-term solution that could affect our immigration system. Janae?
So many communities break.
I agree with that, guys. That's ABC. All right, that's ABC. Boom. That was 24 hours before it's about to expire. Okay, 24 hours. So we're going back in time and then working our way back forward. All right, here we go. Now let's go to ABC News. Let's see what they're saying about this. All right, ABC News. Here we go. See what they're saying about it. All right, guys? We're going to see what everybody's saying about what's going down. Here we go.
This morning, the Biden administration says it's taking new action to manage the surge of migrants at the southern border as Title 42 comes to an end tonight. A new policy will require migrant families seeking asylum to be subjected to home curfews and GPS monitoring while immigration officials determine whether they should be deported. Under Title 42, authorities could expel migrants based on COVID concerns. Now, with those restrictions being lifted, officials have seen a major uptick in border crossings.
Major uptick. Now that these migrants are seeing that this is going to expire, a major uptick. Okay, so they know where this is going to end. These migrants, they know what's going on. Uptick, right? Here we go.
The failure to properly address issues of unlawful immigration at our border bleeds into our communities throughout the state.
Homeland Security has predicted 18,000 migrant apprehensions per day, but the head of U.S. Border Patrol is now down.
So now ABC is saying 18,000. So I've heard today from 10,000 to 12,000, now to 18,000, right? But the Border Patrol down there right now, boots on the ground, can only handle 3,500 a day. I mean, you smelling trouble.
Downplaying that number, saying, I don't expect us to have the 17 to 18,000 some people predicted.
We are making it very clear that our border...
So hold on. Let's go back. Who said this? So, okay.
1,000 some people predicted.
So the Border Patrol chief, Raul Ortiz, is saying he doesn't expect us to have 17, 18,000 as some predict. Okay. Here we go.
We are making it very clear that our border is not open, that crossing irregularly is against the law, and that those who are not eligible for relief will be quickly returned.
House Republicans are expected to vote today on a new bill that would further restrict asylum and build more of the border wall. President Biden says he'll veto the bill if it passes.
Everyone knows we are days away from disaster.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy is slamming the administration for its handling of the border.
Title 42 is going to be lifted. If you don't like our bill, what's your answer? What's your plan? What are you going to do?
The Biden administration says.
We've now heard from ABC now. From ABC, what's going on, guys? So again, this is we're going back in time, 24 hours. All right. Now we're working our way to currently now. All right, currently now, and I'm playing these guys because I want you guys to see exactly what's going on without all the spin. We're gonna go right to the numbers here in a second. Don't you worry. Now here is Fox News. See what they say about this thing. Here we go.
Thank you, guys. Good morning. Embracing for Bedlam. Title 42 expect to expire in about just a few hours' time.
This is today.
Will that unleash a historic surge of illegal border crossings? We're about to find out. In some cases, it already has. It's a Thursday. Good morning. I'm Bill Hemmer. Welcome to the program today.
Good morning. Good to see you. I'm Dana Perino. This is America's Newsroom. So this is tonight at midnight when this happens. So it's T-minus 15 hours until Title 42 comes to an end. The U.S. has relied on this policy to expel migrants nearly 3 million times. And once it goes away, smugglers are expected to just run roughshod.
So across the border in Mexico, thousands are waiting for the green light. At the same time in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott is deploying National Guardsmen to try and help shore up security in his state.
So those
concerning Greg Abbott, okay? Greg Abbott is deploying some National Guard, but there's very little the National Guard can do. Okay, there's very little they can actually do because of the fact that, now come to me for a brief second, real quickly here. Real quick, because I have to explain this because I get a lot of the times from a lot of individuals, they'll say, LaDale, what can the governors do? What can the state houses and senates do? Well, virtually nothing. I mean, they can do a little, but not a lot. In other words, they can do a lot of deterrent actions, barbed wire, putting cars there, trucks there to stop, have boats there as well with the Border Patrol, but they cannot deport them. They cannot, because if a National Guardsman, a police officer, a sheriff, a constable, or a state trooper takes an illegal immigrant, arrests them, and then takes them across the border, they can be put in jail for kidnapping and charged federally. Yes, they can. Because the Supreme Court, based on the Constitution, stated and reaffirmed correctly that immigration is a federal issue, not a state issue. Now, the governor can file a state of emergency, but that is really kind of a formality, so to speak. That's kind of what Greg Abbott has done a little bit in Texas by sending the National Guard. He hadn't declared a state of emergency yet, I don't believe, but he's actually put out some National Guardsmen there. But there's very little they can do. Just to keep it a bang with you guys. All right, let's go back to the people. Let's go. Oh, here we go.
Those guardsmen are relying on barbed wire to help make up for gaps in the border wall. Despite all of this, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas continues to insist the border is closed. He blames the surge on criminals and cartels and is urging asylum seekers not to listen to them.
Smugglers have long been hard at work spreading false information that the border will be open after May 11th. It will not be. The smugglers care only about profit, not.
What does that mean? What does that mean that it's not open? You just saying stuff ain't doing nothing. What does that mean? I mean, this is the second time I heard this in this whole broadcast. What does that actually mean? It's not open. Okay, great that you said it. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Because we're getting all this information from boots on the ground, and all I'm hearing is a lot of words. What you doing, big dog?
Not people. They do not care about you or your well-being.
Talking.
Do not believe their lies. Do not risk your life and your life savings only to be removed from the United States if and when you arrive here.
So meanwhile, on the Hill, House Republicans ready to vote on a comprehensive immigration reform bill. President Biden has pledged to veto that. He argues the bill would make things worse. Well,
stop. Hold on. I can't be quiet no more. If the House is passing some type of bill that is, I guess, trying to address it, I don't know what's in the bill. Don't know it all, period. Why would the first thing out the president's mouth would be, I'm going to veto it, without looking at what's going on in the bill? Number two, also when it's coming to the Republicans, what took you so damn long? I mean, the day of, player? That's when you passed the bill. For real? Man, this is trash. On both sides. Garbage. I had to say something, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to say something. Let's go back to the folk. My bad. Let's go back to the folk. My bad. Here we go.
We'll speak with Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Board Czar Mike Banks. But first, Peter Doocy reports from the White House. Alexis McAdams reports from New York City, which is getting more than 1,000 migrants a day. But we start on the border in Brownsville with Bill Malusian. Here we go, Bill.
Go ahead, Bill. Tell us.
Good morning.
Bill, good morning to you. Tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, everything changes here at the southern border. Border Patrol is going to lose Title 42, a policy they have used millions of times to quickly expel people back to Mexico. The migrants know that policy is going away, and they are already.
Listen what Bill just said. The migrants know. Who's telling them? Who's telling them? They know. Who's telling them?
Showing up in enormous numbers. Take a look at this stunning drone footage our team shot right here in Brownsville, showing an absolutely massive amount of clothing, trash, and rubbish left behind by these migrants after they cross illegally here. This is one of the major hotspots here in Brownsville. Everything you're looking at here is accumulated over just a matter of a few days, and mixed in with all of that clothing and trash are also IDs from all around the world, paperwork from around the world, and Mexican humanitarian visas. Remember, before they get to our border, they got to get into Mexico first, and Mexico.
Another thing, Mexico. Why in the hell are your troops not there? How are they traveling all the way through Mexico to get to Texas and Arizona and California? They got to come through your country first. Why aren't you stopping them? There's a lot of people going on. Some fishy going on. I know what it is. We're gonna get to it. Hold on. Walk with your partner. This is gonna be all right. Hold on.
Mexico mass issues them humanitarian visas, allows them to travel through Mexico. They go right to the border with the U.S., and once they cross over, they dump everything. They get rid of their wet clothes, they get rid of their trash, their food, their IDs, and you are seeing the results of it. That is one single spot along our border. There are dozens of these all along the Rio Grande Valley. Then take a look at this video we shot yesterday, again here in Brownsville. This was late yesterday afternoon. We went down to the edge of the river where you can see masses of people across the river in Matamoros gathering, waiting to cross illegally. Some of them already in the water, some of them coming across on rafts.
Where is the Mexican army at? Look where we at. Where's the Mexican National Guard at? Where you at, big dog? They're coming from your country. Where you at, player? What's going on here?
Rafts, and you'll notice there's no resistance whatsoever on the Mexican side. Mexican immigration isn't trying to stop them. You'll see people.
Thank you, Bill. Mexico immigration ain't trying to stop them at all. They in it in this thing too. Yes, sir. They complicit. Mexico, you are complicit because you ain't stopping it.
In the water with kids, with supplies, with food, with rafts. Once they do get across to the U.S. side, the only resistance they are running into is coming from the state of Texas, not the federal government. You'll see Texas National Guard soldiers.
So Bill is saying the resistance is coming from the Texas government, not the federal government. I'm confused by this. Mayorkas just said that the border is closed, and he sent down resources, right, to thwart what's going on. But Bill said today that the only resistance is the Texas government, not the federal government, which means the U.S. Border Patrol. What's going on here? I thought that the border was closed.
Soldiers there with barbed wire, razor wire, with soldiers, with Texas DPS troopers trying to block them as they come across. And you'll see some of the migrants look confused. They're not used to being repelled. Monday and Tuesday alone of this week, more than 10,000 Border Patrol apprehensions of migrants. Those are some of the highest daily totals recorded in U.S. history. And the Border Patrol Union is already sounding the alarm, and Title 42 hasn't even dropped yet. Here's what they tweeted last night, quote, "Field reports from agents across the southern border verify the enormity of this tidal wave of illegal aliens coming now. Huge groups are overwhelming stations, and it is completely out of control. Massive releases beginning, and it's going to get much worse. Thanks, Biden."
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Come to your partner. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, we just heard you say that the border is closed. Basically, you're not welcome. We also just heard from Bill that that's boots on the ground, that the only resistance is coming from the Texas government via the National Guard and state troopers, right? I thought it was closed. And nothing is coming from the federal side, which is the U.S. Border Patrol. What's going on here, bro? Enough of this damn talking. We need action. What's going on? And 1,500 soldiers sent by the executive branch ain't gonna solve nothing. Let's stop this game. No damn sense, man.
And back out here live, I've spoken with numerous Border Patrol and CBP officials all along the southern border. And what they are telling me is the administration's #1 priority right now is avoiding overcrowding and the potentially damaging images of overcrowding that can come out of it. They tell us they want to process as
Hold on.
quickly as possible, and that we are likely about to see the largest wave of mass releases this country has ever seen. Street releases have already been authorized across all 9 southern Border Patrol sectors.
Stop. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So, from what Bill is saying, the federal government is only concerned about the images that could wound them politically. And so they sent 1,500 soldiers down, which is nothing for the size of the southern border. There's nothing for that at all, to process. Bill just said street releases. In other words, they arrest and release them. Arrest and release them. It is skyrocketing right now. And all we getting on the federal side is talk, because Bill is saying, again, boots on the ground, not theory, boots on the ground. He's saying that the only resistance that he's seen and that's been reported by the U.S. Border Patrol Customs Union is from the Texas government. And we already know that they are limited in what they can do. So the intention of the federal government is to let them in as fast as possible so it does not wound them politically from the images. Straight trash. Garbage. Which lead me to conclude, you want this to happen. This is your intention. Let's stop the BS. It is what it is.
Long live the king.